are the qualifications under Republic Act 8291? The retiree must have rendered at least 15 years of service. He or she must be at least 60 years of age upon retirement, and he or she must not be permanent total disability pensioners, and their last 3 years of service need not be continued. So under Republic Act 8291, they have two options for the retirement packages. So for option 1, we have the 5-year lump sum and old age pension. Retirees can get their 5-year pension in advance, and the lump sum is equal to 60 months of their basic monthly pension payable at time of retirement, or also known as BMP. After 5 years, retirees can start receiving their monthly pension. And in option 2, which is the cash payment and basic monthly, retirees will receive a cash payment equivalent to 18 times the BMP payable upon retirement, and then a monthly pension for life. Such monthly pension for life will be payable immediately after the retirement date. So how do we compute for the BMP, or the basic monthly pension? So there are two options. If the PPP, or period with paid premiums, is less than 15 years, or the PPP is 15 years and more. So for the PPP that is less than 15 years, to get the BMP, the basic monthly pension, we simply multiply 0.375 to the RAMC. So how do we get the RAMC, the revalued average monthly compensation? We add 700 pesos to the AMC. So the AMC is the average monthly compensation. To get the average monthly compensation, it is the total monthly compensation received during the last 36 months of service divided by 36. So now we have the RAMC. Now we'll proceed to the next one. If period with paid premiums is 15 years and more, the BMP is equal to 0.025 multiplied to the RAMC multiplied to the PPP, the period with paid premiums. So here we have a sample retirement under Republic Act 8291. So here we have the retiree, Mr. Juan de la Cruz, who retired on January 1, 2014. So in order to get his BMP, we must first determine his PPP. His PPP is 31.86574. So if it's 15 years or more, we will be using this formula, which is 0.025 multiplied to RAMC multiplied to PPP. So now we'll substitute the values from the left side, which is 0.025, 24,505.55 multiplied to 31.86574. So now his BMP is 19,522.18. So now he can choose between two retirement benefits. Yes, option 1, the 5-year lump sum, and option 2, the 18-month cash payment. So in order to get the 5-year lump sum, we multiply 19,522.18, multiply it to 60 months, or 5 years basically, which results to 1,171,330.80. So his BMP of 19,522.18 will start on January 1, 2019, which is 5 years after the retirement date. And in option 2, if he opts for option 2, the 18-month cash payment, it will be the BMP multiplied to 18 months, which is 351,399.24. But in this case, the BMP will immediately start on January 1, 2014, the retirement date. So this is another retirement option that GSIS offers, which is the Republic Act 660, which is also called the Magic 87. This option provides both annuity and lifetime pension. Conditions are he or she must be at least 52 years old, been in the government for the past 35 years, entered government service on or before May 31, 1977. The last 3 years of service prior to retirement should have been continuous, except in cases of death, disability, abolition, and phase out of position due to reorganization. Appointment status should be permanent, and he or she must meet the age and service requirement under the Magic 87 formula. So the retiree's age and years in service should be added up to a total of at least 87. So in this case, 52 and 35, 55 and 32, or 60 and 24. So there are three options for the retirement packages under Republic Act 660. So for the first option, we have automatic pension. Retirees below 60 years old may choose either an automatic monthly pension for life or an option to avail of a lump sum. The lump sum can be requested every 6 months, and they can receive their 1 year monthly pension in advance for a period of 5 years. On the sixth year, lifetime monthly pension. So for option two, we have the initial 3 year lump sum. The retiree's age must be below 63 but at least 60. They are entitled to a 3 year lump sum on the date of retirement, and a subsequent 2 year lump sum will be paid to the retirees on their 63rd birthday. Retirees still living after the 5 year guarantee period will be entitled to monthly pension for life. So 63 to 65 years old retirees may receive this option. After 5 years, they will receive a monthly pension for life. So here we have a sample retirement under the Magic 87. So here we have Mr. John De La Cruz, whose date of retirement was on January 1, 2009. So we'll follow this formula where R is the monthly pension at age 57, M is the number of years after June 16, 1951, which is the effectivity date of RA 660, and P, which is the number of years before June 16, 1951, and A, the average monthly salary for the last 3 years, or the AMC. So here, to compute for the monthly pension of Mr. John De La Cruz, we used the formula from the previous slide, which is 2% multiplied to the number of years after June 16, 1951, added to 1.2% multiplied to the number of years before June 16, 1951, and then we multiply the summation to the average monthly salary, or your average monthly compensation, your AMC, and then we add all of that to 30 pesos, which gets us 15,201.63. And then we get the actuarial factor at age 61.52 from the table of actuarial adjustment factors, which is 1.13. We multiply R to the actuarial factor, and we get 17,177.84. And since Mr. John is 61.52 years old upon retirement, he is entitled to a 3 year lump sum or 36 months payable immediately on his retirement. So it's just his monthly pension, which is 17,177.84 multiplied to 36 months, which gets us 618,402.24 pesos. Subsequently, he can receive a 2 year lump sum or 24 months payable at age 63 on his birthday, which is June 20, 2010. And the formula is just his monthly pension of 17,177.84 multiplied to 24 months, which gets us 412,268.16. And after that 5 years, from the 3 year lump sum to the subsequent 2 year lump sum, his monthly pension will start on January 2014, which is 5 years after his retirement date. So now we'll be talking about the retirement options under Republic Act 1616. So the qualifications are: the retiree must have entered the government service on or before May 31, 1977. He or she must have rendered at least 20 years of service regardless of age and employment status, and the last 3 years of service prior to retirement should have been continuous, except in cases of death, disability, abolition, and phase out of position due to reorganization. So the benefits that Republic Act 1616 offers is: first, the gratuity payable by the last employer based on the total period with paid premiums, or the PPP, converted into gratuity months multiplied by the highest compensation received. So the gratuity months shall be computed as follows: for the first 20 years, 1 month salary; for the 20 years to 30 years of service is 1.5 months of salary; and over 30 years of service is 2 months' salary. And for the second benefit is the refund of retirement premiums consisting of personal contributions of retirees plus interest and government share without interest payable by the GSIS. So next retirement option in GSIS is PD 1146 or Presidential Decree 1146. So this is only available for those who have been in government service after May 31, 1977, but before June 24, 1997. They may avail of this retirement program, and this retirement program gives members a choice between a basic monthly pension and cash payment. So the qualifications are they must have rendered at least 15 years of service and must be at least 60 years old upon retirement, and the date of retirement or separation is prior to June 24, 1997. So these are the benefits of retirement under PD 1146. So there are two options. Like I said a while ago, we have pension and cash payment. So under pension, we have two options. We have annuity and 5-year lump sum. Under annuity, the monthly pension is paid annually for 5 years, and after which the retiree's BMP for life shall commence. And for option 2, we have the 5-year lump sum, which is the amount to be received within the 5-year guaranteed period. So how do we compute for the basic monthly pension under PD 1146? So we use this formula, which is 0.025 multiplied to RAMC multiplied to total years of service, where RAMC is equal to 170% of AMC if the AMC is not more than 200 pesos. If the AMC is more than 200 pesos but less than 3,000 pesos, the RAMC is equal to AMC plus 140 pesos. It is good to note that the AMC should not be more than 5,000 pesos. So for the second benefit, which the retiree can opt for under PD 1146 is cash payment. If the retiree is at least 60 years old and had at least 3 years but less than 15 years of government service, the retiree is ineligible for PD 1146. However, he or she is still entitled to cash payment. And the computation for cash payment is as follows: AMC multiplied to PPP or period with paid premiums. So the last retirement option for GSIS is RA 7699, also known as the Portability Law. And the qualifications for this law is that the retiree is not entitled for pension benefit from either or both the GSIS or SSS Social Security System because they are unable to meet the required periods of service or number of contributions. And number two, the retiree has less than 120 months of SSS contributions or less than 180 months of creditable government service at the time of retirement. It is good to note that in computing, there should be no overlapping of periods of service or contributions under the GSIS and SSS. So, the portability law provides for totalization, the process of adding up the period of creditable services or contributions under both SSS and GSIS for purposes of eligibility and computation of benefits. The amount of benefit to be paid by the GSIS or SSS shall be proportionate to the services rendered or periods of contributions paid to each of them. Hence, all services the retiree rendered or contributions they personally paid as a GSIS member, as well as those that were paid by their agency employer, shall be considered in their computation and payment of GSIS benefits. The SSS, on the other hand, shall show the proportion corresponding to the retiree's services or contributions to that system. And it's good to note that the benefit under this law is in the form of monthly pension payable at age 60. So the next program that GSIS offers is called separation. It is a benefit given to employees who are below the retirement age of 60 but have been separated from the service. It has two forms: cash payment or both cash payment and pension. So the eligibility of separation is first, the member should have been in the service for at least 3 years but less than 15 years and is below the age of 60. For that, the cash payment is equivalent to 100% of the AMC or the average monthly compensation for every year of service payable upon reaching 60 years old. And two, the member should have been in the service for at least 15 years and is below the age of 60. For this one, the cash payment is equivalent to 18 times the BMP, the basic monthly pension, upon separation and monthly pension for life starting at age 60. How do we compute for the basic monthly pension in separation? It is more or less similar to the retirement program. So BMP is just simply 0.025 multiplied to AMC plus 700 multiplied to period with paid premiums. The next program that GSIS offers is called unemployment, and it is paid when government employees who have paid the required 12 months of integrated contributions under Republic Act 8291 are involuntarily separated from the service as a result of their abolition of their position resulting from reorganization. So the benefit is in the form of monthly cash payments equivalent to 50% of their average monthly compensation or their AMC. And furthermore, the duration of the benefit depends on the length of service and ranges from 2 months to a maximum of 6 months. So the unemployment benefit shall be paid in accordance with the following schedule. If contributions have been made for 1 year but less than 3 years, the benefit duration is for 2 months. If the contribution have been made for 3 or more years but less than 6 years, the benefit duration is for 3 months. If the contributions have been made for a period of 6 years or more but less than 9 years, the benefit duration is for 4 months. If the contributions have been made for a period of 9 years but less than 11 years, the benefit duration is for 5 months. If the contributions have been made for a period of 11 years or more but less than 15 years, the benefit duration is for 6 months.
Next we have is disability. So as defined by the GSIS, disability is any loss or impairment of the normal functions of the member's physical or mental faculties, leading them to temporarily or permanently discontinue working or engaging in any other gainful activity, which then results in the loss of income. Moreover, there are actually three kinds of disability determined by the GSIS, which were based on established medical standards. So these three disabilities are one, permanent total disability or PTD. Number two is permanent partial disability or PPD. And last is temporary total disability or the TTD. Let's start with permanent total disability or PTD. Well, what exactly is PTD? So it is a disability due to injury or disease causing irreversible incapacity that will permanently disable a member to work. So this results in the loss of one's income. And the disabilities that I will be mentioning are deemed total and permanent. We have complete loss of sight on both eyes, loss of two limbs at or above the ankle or wrist, permanent complete paralysis of two limbs, brain injury resulting in incurable imbecility or insanity, and such other cases as may be determined and approved. For those classified under permanent total disability, they will receive the following benefits. So for members who become permanently disabled are entitled to monthly income benefits for life equivalent to the basic monthly pension or the BMP, effective from the date of disability. Along with the benefits of for life, a cash payment equivalent to 18 times the BMP will be paid to members who were in the service at the time of the permanent total disability and who have paid a total of 180 monthly contributions. And for the separated members who have at least 3 years of service and become permanently disabled but have not paid a total of at least 180 monthly contributions prior to the disability are entitled only to cash payment. This cash payment will be equivalent to 100% of their average monthly compensation for each year of service with paid contributions but not less than 12,000 pesos. We now move on to the second disability, which is the permanent partial disability or the PPD. So this results in this disability to work for a limited period of time and arises due to the complete and permanent loss of the use of any of the following. So we have any finger, one arm, foot, toe, hand or leg, one or both ears, hearing on one or both ears, sight of one eye, and such other cases as may be determined and approved by the GSIS. And the following statements I'll be mentioning are the benefits they'll be receiving. So after a due medical evaluation, the period of entitlement to the PPD benefits will be determined. Such period of entitlement to the benefit will not exceed 12 months for the same contingency. And only the leave of absence without pay incurred during the period of entitlement, duly certified by the authorized officer of the agency where members are employed, is compensable. So the amount of PPP benefit is computed by dividing the BMP or the basic monthly pension by 30 days and multiplying the quotient by the number of compensable calendar days of leave of absence without pay. And last we have is the temporary total disability or the TTD. This arises when the impaired physical or mental faculties can be rehabilitated to their normal functions. However, such disabilities will result in temporary incapacity to work. As for the benefits, the period of entitlement to the TTD benefit is determined after a due medical evaluation and proof of actual loss of work resulting in loss of income by incurring the actual number of days of leave without pay duly certified by the authorized officer of the agency. However, such a period of entitlement should not exceed 120 days in one calendar year. To continue the benefits, if the disability required more extensive treatment that lasts beyond 120 days, then the payment of TTD may be extended but not to exceed a total of 240 days. And also, only the leave of absence without pay incurred during the period of entitlement is compensable. So when does the period of entitlement start? Well, it starts from the fourth day of the disability. And we can compute for the TTD benefit amount by multiplying 75% of the daily salary of the members by the number of days of disability based on the medical evaluation. However, the computed daily salary shall not be less than 70 pesos, but not more than 340 pesos per day. And so we proceed to the eligibilities, which applies to all the benefits. So members who become permanently disabled are entitled to the benefit when they are in the service at the time of disability, and if they are separated from the service, they have paid at least 36 months of contributions within the 5-year period immediately preceding the disability, or have paid a total of at least 180 months of contributions prior to the disability. However, these are subject to the following conditions. They are gainfully employed prior to the commencement of disability. They are not a registered member of any social insurance institution, and they are not receiving any other pension either from GSIS or another institution, whether local or foreign. And as I have mentioned earlier, the payment of TTD benefit may be extended by the GSIS up to a maximum of 240 days, which is subject to the medical evaluation. We now move on to the next benefit, which is survivorship benefit. So GSIS recognizes that pension is an earned right and not a privilege. Hence, the new basic survivorship program implemented in December 2010 restored the survivorship benefit of surviving spouses of the members, even if they are employed and receiving other sources of income or pension. This survivorship benefit is equivalent to 50% of the basic minimum pension received by the deceased member of the pensioner, and moreover, the dependent's pension for the children of the deceased member is equivalent to 10% of the basic minimum pension payable until the age of majority. However, the payment of BSP to the dependent spouse shall be discontinued in case they remarry or engage in a common law relationship. And when the members die, their beneficiaries are entitled to cash and or pension benefits. These are subject to the existing rules on survivorship and policies on the maximum amount of survivorship pension. And so we have the following as those who are covered by the survivorship benefit. First, we have all members and secondary beneficiaries residing in the Philippines or abroad who are existing survivorship pensioners. Next, we have those who were receiving survivorship benefits but were suspended when the policy was amended and implemented in August 2009. And we have those who applied for the survivorship benefits but were disapproved due to the approval of management implementing guidelines. We now proceed to the eligibility requirements. In the event that a member of the pensioner dies, the primary beneficiaries or secondary beneficiaries shall be entitled to the applicable survivorship benefits. So now let's identify who the primary beneficiaries are. First, we have the legitimate spouse until they remarry or engage in a common law relationship. Second, we have the dependent legitimate, legally adopted or legitimated children, including those illegitimate children who have not reached the age of majority or have reached the age of majority but are incapacitated and incapable of self-support due to a mental or physical defect acquired prior to the age of majority. Let's now identify the secondary beneficiaries. So they shall be the dependent parents and, subject to the restrictions on the dependent children, the legitimate descendants. We should take note that the secondary beneficiaries are only entitled to the benefits if there are no primary beneficiaries. Moving forward, we have the maximum amount of survivorship pension. So for the surviving spouse, they shall be entitled to basic survivorship pension, which is 50% of the basic monthly pension, but not to exceed 50% of the current salary of an undersecretary. As for the dependent children, they shall be entitled to dependent children's pension for a maximum of 5 children, equivalent to 10% of the BMP for each child, but not to exceed 50% of the BMP, counted from the youngest and without substitution. Now you may be wondering if there are any disqualifications for the survivorship benefit. Well, the answer is yes, and the following listed below are those disqualifications. First, we have when the surviving spouse remarried, cohabits, or engages in common law relationship. Second, in the case of dependent children, pension shall be discontinued upon reaching the age of majority. And when the dependent spouse and children are receiving the basic survivorship pension and dependent children's pension respectively, any subsequent death, emancipation, or disqualification of any one of them shall not result in the accrual of that portion of benefits to the other beneficiaries. Another benefit offered by the GSIS is the funeral benefit. So this is intended to help defray the expenses incident to the funeral and burial of the deceased member, pensioner, or retiree. It is payable to any qualified individual in accordance with the following order of priority. First, we have the legitimate spouse, followed by the legitimate child who spent for the funeral services, and last, we have any other person who can show incontrovertible proof that he shouldered the funeral expenses. And we have the following as the amount of funeral benefit. First, we have the prevailing amount approved by the Board of Trustees at the time of death of the member, which is fixed at the amount of 30,000 pesos. And for uniformed members of the PNP, BJMP, and the BFP, it is fixed at the amount of 10,000 pesos. Next, we have employees' compensation. So this is a compensation package for public and private sector employees and their dependents in case of a work-related injury, sickness, disability, or death. And they shall receive the following benefits: medical services, appliances and supplies, rehabilitation services, temporary total disability benefit, permanent total disability benefit, permanent partial disability benefit, death benefit, and funeral benefit. Apart from those previously discussed, GSIS also offers other benefits and programs. So first we have the program for restructuring and repayment of debts, otherwise known as the PRRD. So PRRD is a one-time condonation and restructuring program for inactive GSIS members with outstanding loans. GSIS members who are already out of the government service and are financially incapable of settling their outstanding loan balances in full may apply for this program. So, what are the loans covered under PRRD? We have salary loan, restructured salary loan, enhanced salary loan, emergency loan assistance, summer 1 month salary loan, members cash advance, e-card cash advance, e-card plus cash advance, console loan, enhanced console loan, emergency loan, home emergency loan program, study now, pay later at FlyPal, pay later loans and did not avail of the condonation program in 2014, educational assistance loan or EAL and did not avail for EAL2, stock purchase loan and did not avail for of the condonation program in 2013, policy loan which is regular or optional, GSIS financial assistance loan or GFAL for debt ed personnel.
So next we have the Ginhawa for All lease with option to buy. So GSIS rents out its housing units to interested parties who will be given the priority to purchase it anytime during the lease agreement. The agreement will be valid for 1 year, renewable at the discretion of GSIS. To be qualified for the program, the prospective leasee must first be a Filipino citizen who is legally authorized to enter into an agreement and have a regular source of income. In the case where the residential property is occupied, GSIS will give priority to the current occupant to lease the unit with an option to buy it. On the other hand, if the property is unoccupied, it will be open for rental to anyone who qualifies. All improvement or renovation costs will be shouldered by the leasing. Next, we have pension loans. Pension loans are offered to those qualified old age GSIS pensioners currently receiving pension for at least a month and with no outstanding service loans being amortized under the choice of loan amortization schedule for pensioners and or the GSIS program of restructuring and repayment of debts at the time of filing. Pensioners may avail of a loan amount of up to 6 months times their basic monthly pension, but not more than 500,000 pesos. The resulting net monthly pension after pension loan availment and pensioner's emergency loan, if there is any, must be at least 25% of the BMP. And if the pensioner fails to satisfy the 25% resulting net monthly pension, after deducting the gross amount will be recalculated to a lower amount. The qualified borrowers for the pension loan are regular old age pensioners who are first currently receiving pension for at least a month and have no outstanding service loans being amortized under the choice of loan amortization schedule for pensioners and or the GSIS PRRD at the time of filing. However, it is important to take note that the payment terms are 24 months with an interest rate of 10% per annum. Next, we have the General Insurance Program. GSIS extends various non life insurance products for the protection of their institutional and individual clients. Institutional clients are offered non life insurance coverage, which includes fire, engineering, marine haul and cargo, aviation, contractors all risk, bonds, motor cars, and personal accidents. As for individual clients, including GSIS members, pensioners, and their dependents, the pension offers G Care plans, which is an umbrella of products that include Home Shield, Auto Shield, and My Shield. All government involvement or exposure in corporations, partnerships, joint ventures, associations, and the like shall be construed as government interest, and it shall be mandatory for these operations to obtain their insurances and bonds from GSIS. Next, we have the GSIS Educational Subsidy Program. This aims to extend assistance to recipients and support its members' ambitions in fulfilling their dependents' educational aspirations. Thus, it is a financial assistance given to those dependents of qualified program recipients enrolled in any year level in a CHAD registered private or state college or university. Such recipients are entitled to a subsidy of 1,000 pesos to 10,000 pesos per academic year. Furthermore, It is important to take note that this grant is non-transferable. All active GSIS members with permanent employment status may nominate a student dependent, provided that first, they are at a salary grade of 24 or below, or its equivalent job level. Second, the member's GSIS account is in good standing with premium payments and with no underpaid loan or unpaid loan amortization of not more than 3 months for the duration of the GESP grant per evaluation conducted by GSIS. Lastly, they have college student dependents in any year level who are taking up a 4 or 5 year course in any CHED recognized state universities, local universities and colleges, or private colleges. For a member to be allowed to nominate one student, the student must meet the following qualifications. First, they must be a child or dependent of a member, including the child of a solo family member as defined in the Solo Parents Welfare Act. Second, they must be a college student in any year level who is taking up any 4 or 5 year course in any of the CHED registered SUCs, LUC, or private college or university. That student shall enroll in full load for each term, as prescribed by the curriculum of the chosen course, immediately following the award of the educational subsidy and every term after that. Moreover, no postponement of enrollment shall be allowed. However, there are exceptions. These exceptions include sickness, injury, transfer of residence, or threat to security and safety, but these are subject to the approval of GSIS. Additionally, the recipient may enroll in summer or midterm classes, but no subsidy shall be provided by GSIS. Third, the dependent must have a general weighted average of at least 80%, with no failing grades and incomplete marks in any subject. Lastly, the qualified member's dependent shall not be a recipient of any other educational or financial assistance program for the duration of the grant, including the GSIS scholarship program. For applicants with sectorial group affiliation, the following additional requirements must be submitted. First, the qualified member's dependent shall not be a recipient of any other educational or financial assistance program for the duration of the grant. Second, an original or certified true copy of government issued authentication, examples of which include the PWD ID from the local Social Welfare Development Office or LSWDO or the National Council on Disability Affairs. Or it can be a certificate of confirmation of tribal membership from the National Commission on Indigenous People, or it can be an SPID from the LSWDO. What are the requirements needed for the application? First, a duly accomplished GESP application form. Second, a PSA issued birth certificate of the dependent, either an original or certified true copy. Third, a certificate from the school stating that the student is accepted or enrolled during the current academic year, stating thereon the course, the duration of the course, and the year level of the student. Lastly, a report card or school certification stating that the general weighted average of the applicant's dependent is at least 80% with no failing grade and incomplete mark incurred in any subject within the preceding semester or term of the academic year.
The Ginhawa for All Housing Account Restructuring Condonation Program allows current buyers or borrowers of housing accounts to bring their accounts up to date by taking advantage of a waiver of penalties and partial discounts on interest, effectively reducing the balance on housing accounts. What are the benefits of this program? First, easier for housing buyers and borrowers to restructure or fully pay their housing obligations. Two, outstanding interest will be distributed evenly over the loan term instead of being added to the principal. 3. Interest was low as 6%. 4. Lower amortization through extended payment term of up to 10 years. 5. Waiver of penalties and surcharges. 6. Grace period for accounts that has never been restructured with arrearages due to delayed remittance of the first monthly amortization. Now, who are eligible to avail of this program? Those who are eligible to apply for the updating of the accounts through full payment or arrearages are the following: deed of conditional sale account holders with a remaining term and accounts that are up to date, in arrears, unpaid for 6 months or less, or in default, unpaid for more than 6 months. And real estate loan borrowers with the remaining term and accounts that are not yet foreclosed or are already foreclosed but the redemption period has not yet expired. Next up, those who are eligible to apply for restructuring with continuation options are DCS account holders with accounts that are up to date, in arrears, unpaid for 6 months or less, or in default, unpaid for more than 6 months. Those with disputed cancelled DCS already uploaded as acquired asset but not yet sold may also apply. Additionally, those with disputed cancelled DCS already uploaded as acquired asset but not yet sold provided that up-to-date accounts are restructured to lower the interest rate to 6% or lower the monthly amortization. Another class of eligible applicants are REL borrowers with foreclosed REL accounts whose certificate of sale has not yet been annotated on the title, subject to full settlement of foreclosure expense and a 20% down payment based on the total outstanding balance of the net of penalties and surcharges as of the date of approval. And finally, these are the eligible applicants for full payment with condonation options. DCS account holders with accounts up to date, in arrears, unpaid for 6 months or less, or in default, unpaid for more than 6 months. Also, those with disputed canceled DCS already uploaded as acquired asset but not yet sold may apply. REL borrowers whose accounts are up to date, in arrears, unpaid for 6 months or less, or in default, unpaid for more than 6 months, and have been foreclosed whose redemption period has not yet lapsed. As for the application process, to apply for the housing account restructuring and continuation, the following requirements must be submitted. Properly accomplished application form, valid ID, which may be PhilSys ID, employee ID, driver's license, professional regulation commission ID, senior citizen ID, SSS ID, COMLEC or voter's ID or registration form, NBI clearance, integrated board of the Philippines ID, firearms license, AFP SLAI ID, PVAO ID, AFP beneficiary ID, BIR ID, Pag-ibig ID, person with disability ID, solo parent ID, 4-piece ID, barangay ID, or PhilPost ID. To complete the list of requirements, we have the latest real property tax declaration, which covers the land and improvement if there is any, real property tax clearance, land and building, proof of paying capacity of the buyer or borrower and co-maker, latest payslip, certificate of employment with compensation or other sources of income. Now that we've covered all these benefits, now it's time to get to know what are the kinds of loans that the GSIS offers.
And lastly, we have the loans offered by GSIS. These are Enhanced Console Loan Plus, Policy Loan, Emergency Loan, Pension Loan, Multipurpose Loan, and GSIS Financial Assistance Loan. GSIS offers various loans to assist members with their financial needs. You may apply for a loan using your GSIS Unified Multipurpose Identification Card to the GSIS Wireless Automated Processing System kiosk located in all 42 GSIS branch offices, the provincial capitals, city halls, municipal offices, large government agencies such as the Department of Education, and selected SM supermalls. You may also file your loan over the counter at any of the GSIS offices in case you still do not have your Unified Multipurpose Identification Card. The first loan is the Enhanced Console Loan Plus, or formerly the Consolidated Loan. The GSIS Enhanced Console Loan Plus allows their members to consolidate their outstanding loans and other payables from various lending institutions into a single loan with a lower interest rate. This loan can help their members manage their debts more efficiently, as they will only have to make a single monthly payment to the GSIS instead of multiple payments to different creditors. The minimum premium payments required for the GSIS Enhanced Console Loan Plus will depend on the loan amount and repayment terms. However, it is important for the borrowers to ensure that they can meet the monthly payment obligations to avoid defaulting on the loan. The maximum loan amount that a borrower can receive for the GSIS Enhanced Console Loan Plus is based on their outstanding loan balance, their credit worthiness, and capacity to pay. The maximum loan amount cannot exceed the total outstanding balance of all loans and other payables to be consolidated, and it must also not exceed the borrower's maximum loanable amount based on their credit worthiness and capacity to pay. Overall, the GSIS Enhanced Console Loan Plus is designed to help their members better manage their debts and achieve financial stability. The qualifications for the Enhanced Console Loan Plus program are active GSIS members, permanent and non-permanent, those who have no pending administrative or criminal case, those are not on leave of absence without pay, and with a net take-home pay that is not less than the minimum amount specified in the General Appropriations Act after the monthly amortization due on the loan has been deducted. Moreover, a member should have a computed loanable amount of at least 15,000 pesos to be able to qualify under the Enhanced Consul Loan Plus program. If the computed loanable amount is less than 15,000 pesos, the loan will not be processed. And special members such as prosecutors and members of the Judiciary and Constitutional Commissions are also qualified to avail of the loan, equivalent to 10 times their basic salary. To those who are interested in applying to the Enhanced Consolidated Loan Plus, interested members may apply through the GSIS Wireless Automated System kiosk that is located in all 57 GSIS branch and extension offices, provincial capitals, city halls, selected municipal offices, and large government agencies such as the Department of Education and selected provincial malls. Upon confirmation of the agency's authorized officers, the loan proceeds are electronically credited to members' GSIS e-card or Unified Multipurpose Identification Card. For first-time borrowers, members can choose the amount of loan and the corresponding loan term based on their PPP. However, if the computed maximum loanable amount is below 15,000 pesos, the member shall not be entitled to the Enhanced Consul Loan Plus. The member shall be given the option to choose a shorter term in increment of 1 year or 12 months. Consolidation and loan renewal, both regular and special members, have the option to choose a lower loan amount provided that the proceeds of the loan will be sufficient to cover the aggregate balance of the existing loan accounts, including the fees charged. However, if the loanable amount of 105% of the outstanding balances is less than 15,000 pesos, the members shall not be entitled to the consolidation and renewal of loan. In this instance, the minimum loanable amount shall be 15,000 pesos or 105% of the outstanding balances, whichever is higher. Failure to indicate the preferred loan amount shall mean that the members are applying for the maximum loan amount for which the members are qualified to avail. Failure to indicate payment term shall be interpreted as preference for the longest term to which the member is qualified. The interest rate shall be 12% per annum, compounded annually based on a diminishing balance. For the enhanced Consul Loan Plus, pro rata interest covering the days from loan granting up to the end of the month prior for the first June month shall be deducted in advance from the loan proceeds. The next loan is the policy loan. It is a loan facility offered to GSIS members to GSIS life insurance policy, which is either a life endowment policy or enhanced life insurance. The loan bearing an 8% interest rate may be paid either through monthly amortization or deduction from a member's existing life insurance policy contract. Those who are qualified loan borrowers shall be the GSIS members who at the time of filing must have been insured for at least 1 year, must also have updated premium payments with active policies, those who have no pending administrative and or criminal case, and holders of the GSIS e-card. To apply, members with a GSIS e-card may apply for the console loan through the GSIS Wireless Automated Processing System kiosk. In the policy loan, there are two types of life insurance, the compulsory and the optional life insurance. And first, here is the application form of the compulsory life insurance. This is what it looks like. And here is the application form of the optional life insurance. To be qualified for both compulsory and optional life insurances, they shall be GSIS members who at the time of filing must have insured for at least 1 year, those who updated premium payments with active policies, those who are still active in service, those who have no pending administrative and or criminal case, and holders of the GSIS e-card. For application of the life insurances, in the compulsory life insurance policy loan, you can apply directly at any GSIS office, or the members may transact the loan electronically at the government-wide automated payment system kiosk. In the optional life insurance, the borrowers authorize the GSIS to deduct from the proceeds of these loans any outstanding obligations that they may have with the GSIS in order to update them or settle them in accordance with the GSIS policies existing or hereafter promulgated. In the policy loans, loanable amount and terms, the amount of the loan shall be the sum total as approved by the GSIS and as reflected in its disbursement voucher. Enhanced life insurance offers 70% of the accumulated termination value of the member's policy. The life endowment policy (LEP) offers 50% of the member's cash value. The borrowers may have the option to shift to another mode of payment anytime during the term of the loan by giving them written notice to GSIS. And the interest rate, the loan shall incur interest at the rate of 8% per annum compounded annually, unless a different rate is expressly provided under the total expense ratio or TER and condition of the existing policy contract.
Lastly, the emergency loan. It provides assistance to GSIS members affected by natural calamities. The loan is payable in 3 years or 36 equal monthly installments. If renewed, the balance of the outstanding loan will be deducted from the proceeds of the new loan. The old emergency loan program has been restructured into enhanced emergency loan program. It doubled the maximum credit limit for members who already had an emergency loan, allowing them to loan more. It also removed the requirement for a 12-month amortization period when renewing an emergency loan. To qualify for the emergency loan, the member applicant must be a bona fide resident or employee of the government office within the declared calamity area based on the latest GSIS records as of the time of declaration of calamity, should be in active service and not on leave of absence without pay, has no arrearages in the payment of mandatory social insurance contributions, and has no loan that has been declared in default. This is the application form for the active member, and this is the application form for pensioners. Qualified emergency loan borrowers with no existing emergency loan account shall be allowed a loan amount of 20,000. For borrowers with an existing emergency loan account, their loanable amount is up to 40,000, but the net proceeds should not exceed 20,000. The annual interest rate shall be 6% computed in advance with an annual effective rate of 9.88% computed as follows. The loan amount for new emergency loans should be up to 20,000 while for existing emergency loans is up to 40,000. The interest rate shall be both 6% for new and existing. The term of loan both 3 years for new and existing. The amount of interest, which is the loan times interest times term, for new it is 3,600, for existing it is up to 7,200. For the total loan amount, which is the loan plus the amount of interest, for new it is 23,600, For existing, it is up to 47,200, and the monthly amortization, which is the total loan amount divided by 36 months or 3 years. For new, it is 655 and 56 cents. For existing, it is 1,311 and 11 cents. Under the emergency loan, we have the special emergency assistance for Yolanda and other calamities. We have the enhanced emergency loan, loan moratorium, and home emergency loan program or HELP. The enhanced emergency loan is where the loan credit limit was increased from 20,000 to 40,000 as part of additional assistance to members and pensioners who are either living or working in the areas severely damaged by Typhoon Yolanda. GSIS also waived the payment of 12 monthly amortization to renew the loan. Loan moratorium. In November 2013, GSIS offered a 6-month loan moratorium for members and pensioners, which deferred the payment for all existing loans until October 2014. Loans covered under the moratorium include consolidated loans, housing loans, policy loans, and e-cash advances. Home Emergency Loan Program or HELP. Beginning in January 2014, a new loan window called the Home Emergency Loan Program or HELP was opened to members whose houses were damaged by Yolanda. At 6% interest rate, eligible members may borrow up to 200,000 depending on their total land of service. In present, people from municipality of Baco, San Teodoro, Socorro, Victoria, Calapan City, which were declared in state of calamity due to the February 28 oil spill in Mindoro, is eligible for the loan with the granting period from April 28 to May 17, 2023. To follow is the summary of our report.
Now, here is a quick summary of everything we discussed. To begin, the Government Service Insurance System, or GSIS, is a social security institution created by the Commonwealth Act No. 186 and Republic Act 8291 in 1936. Operations began on May 31, 1937, with a life insurance program as their primary service. By 1951, their operations transformed to include old age, invalidity, disability, and survivorship benefits. Their modifications in their operations made a more comprehensive social insurance scheme. As mentioned earlier, GSIS was created as per the implementation of Republic Act 8291. The GSIS law provides a legal framework for the administration of the Social Security Program for government workers, making GSIS how it is today. They provide social security and financial benefits to all government employees and their qualified dependents. They aim to satisfy the non life insurance needs of the government. Furthermore, they maintain and strengthen the visibility of the fund while building an enduring partnership with its stakeholders. More importantly, they ensure their members against the occurrence of certain contingencies in exchange for their monthly premium contributions. GSIS covers all government workers except members of the judiciary and constitutional commissions, contractual employees who have no employee to employer relationship with their agencies, uniformed members of the AFP, PNP, BJMP, and the BFP, barangay and sangguniang officials who are not receiving fixed monthly compensation, and lastly, employees who do not have monthly regular hours of work and are not receiving fixed monthly compensation. As for the membership, there are two types of members in GSIS, namely regular members and special members. These members can be active or inactive. This- It is important to take note that membership in GSIS is mandatory for all government employees who receive compensation and have not yet reached the compulsory retirement age of 65 at the time of election or appointment to the government service. As for the contributions, members and employers are required to pay monthly premium contributions to GSIS in order to fund programs and benefits. Payable amounts correspond to certain percentages of monthly compensation. As far as allocation is concerned, retirement, life insurance, and personal share have different contribution percentages. Meanwhile, judiciary and constitutional commissioners' contributions are allocated entirely to life insurance. For the collections, contributions are derived from the members' compensation or payroll. With that in mind, no contributions are collected when members take leaves without pay. Required amounts should be included in the employer's annual distributions, and remittance of contributions should be treated as a priority among other employer obligations. For the different methods of remittance, employers must have an electronic billing and collect system. Remittances can also be done over the counter or online or in respective GSIS offices. As for the as for the sanctions for delayed remittances, employers will be held liable for interest prescribed by the board of directors. Negligence will result to employees shouldering the said interest, and delay may result in temporary suspension of members' loan privilege. GSIS offers various benefits and programs. One of the programs they offer is life insurance, providing an automatic yearly insurance coverage to new members of GSIS based on their monthly compensation, while also providing an enhanced death benefit for the family of the deceased member. There are two classifications, namely life endowment policy and enhanced life policy. GSIS offers different retirement options that retirees can choose from depending on their age and length of service. They are Republic Act 8291, Republic Act 660, also known as the Magic 87, Presidential Decree 1146, Republic Act 1616, and Republic Act 7699, also known as the Portability Law. They also provide a separation program which benefits employees who are below the retirement age of 60 but have been separated from the service. Additionally, they supply unemployment programs which aid government employees who are involuntarily separated from the service as a result of abolition of their position resulting from reorganization. So there are three kinds of disabilities that may receive the disability benefit. First, we have the permanent total disability, then we have the permanent partial disability, and the temporary total disability. For the survivorship benefit, the member's beneficiaries are entitled to cash and or pension benefits when the member dies. Meanwhile, the funeral benefit's purpose is to cover the expenses of the funeral of the deceased member, pensioner, or retiree. As for the other programs and benefits offered, they have the Program for Restructuring and Repayment of Debts, Ginhawa for All Lease with option to buy, pension loans, and many more. GSIS offers various loans to assist members with their financial needs. You may apply for a loan using your UMID card through the GSIS Wireless Automated Processing System kiosks. The first loan is the consolidated loan. This combines five different loan products into one, namely the salary loan, the restructured salary loan, the enhanced salary loan, emergency loan assistance, and summer 1 month salary loan. Under the consolidated loan is the Enhanced Consol Loan Plus program, where members who have at least 15 years of service with paid premiums may borrow a 12-month salary loan, while those with not less than 25 years of service will be eligible for a 14-month loan. The second loan offered by GSIS is the policy loan. This is a loan program which a member may avail from his or her GSIS life insurance policy. Next, we have the emergency loan, which provides assistance to GSIS members affected by natural calamities. Under the Under the emergency loan, there is the enhanced emergency loan, the loan moratorium, and the home emergency loan program. We then have the pension loan, which is offered to qualified old age GSIS pensioners who are currently receiving pension for at least a month and with no outstanding service loans being amortized. Next, we have the multi-purpose loan, wherein it gives borrowers an additional credit line that will help them consolidate and pay their outstanding GSIS loan balances. And finally, we have the GSIS Financial Assistance Loan, which enables GSIS members to settle their outstanding loan balance with other lending institutions at reduced interest rate and longer payment term. As for the types of GFAL, we have first GFAL, which is the top up option. We then have GFAL 1 for debted personnel and GFAL 2 for non-debted personnel.
And that concludes our discussion about GSIS. Before we end our presentation, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude to Ms. Maria Ethelyn Catarata for sparing us the time to interview her despite their busy schedule. We would also like to thank her for providing us with more insights about GSIS. Once again, we are Cluster 5 and we are now open for questions. Okay, so let's have our first question from Mr. Dabon.
Hi, good morning, GSIS group. Very great presentation today. So I'll just get on to my question na lang. I'm from Cluster 1, Joshua Dabon from Cluster 1. My question is, are there situations ba wherein contributions are not collected purposefully? So that's my question. Again, are there situations wherein contributions are purposefully not collected?
Thank you for your question. So actually, yes, according to our interview with GSIS, they said that since contributions are derived from members' compensation, no premiums are collected when the employee takes a leave of absence without pay for like a month or more. This is because contributions are compulsory. However, they only apply to the months in which the member is doing actual or active service for the government.
Okay. Let's now have from question from Mr. Echeverria.
So, good morning, Cluster 5. Cluster 5. So, that was a very wonderful and detailed presentation. So, my question is, like SSS, does GSIS accept voluntary memberships or contributions?
Hello, Dio. Unfortunately, GSIS is very clear that you need to have an employee-employee relationship with the government in order to be a member. So therefore, voluntary contributions are not allowed.
Thank you, Mr. Lauoy.
So next, let's have Miss Oyang Green.
Good morning. Hello, group. I cluster 5. That was a very nice presentation. So my question is regarding the funeral benefit. So if there is no legitimate spouse or child, who can claim the benefit if there are multiple people wanting to claim it?
Hello, Risha. So the people who can claim it is the person who can show at least one official original receipt of the expenses, so they can incur for the funeral first.
Thank you.
Another question from Miss Badiang.
Good morning, Cluster 5. Wonderful presentation, by the way. I'm Joanna Marie Mbajang from Cluster 3, and here is my question. who will be entitled to receive survivorship if any case there are no primary and secondary beneficiaries.
In the absence of primary and secondary beneficiaries, the the legal heirs, as defined under the rules of succession, new Civil Code of the Philippines shall receive the applicable cash benefit depending on the eligibility of the deceased member or pensioner. Let's have another question from Ms. Delmar.
Wala ko. Good morning, everyone, and especially Cluster 5. Your presentation was quite long, but anyways, my question is, why did GSIS revise the existing policy on the grant of survivorship benefits?
Hello, Carmela. To answer your question, the management revised the existing policies on the grant of survivorship benefits with the goal of granting equitable benefits to survivorship pensioners, taking into consideration the specific provisions under the Family Code, such that the dependency for support of the surviving spouse to the deceased GSIS member shall not be dictated by the surviving spouse's financial status or capability. So, given the said revisions, the members and pensioners are secured of their future benefits in GSIS without compromising the financial viability of the social insurance fund. So I hope that answered your question.
Thank you, Cluster 5.
Let's have the next question from Mr. Agipo.
Wonderful performance, by the way. So my question, by the way, is why should an employee avail a loan from GSIS instead of other lending institutions?
Thank you for that wonderful question, Mr. Agipo. So to answer your question, aside from the loans of GSIS being a privilege exclusively offered to its members, GSIS loans bigger amounts with smaller interest. They also go the extra mile by subjecting the borrower to a financial literacy program to make sure that they have the knowledge to responsibly manage the proceeds. I hope that answers your question, Mr. Aguifo.
Yes, that answered my question. Thank you for enlightening me.
Oh, I think we have more questions. Let's have Miss Sevillano next.
Good morning, Cluster 5. That was a really great presentation, by the way. And also, just to introduce myself, I'm Frizel Sevillano from Cluster 4, and I just have one question. Does does GSIS have any certain specifications on the funeral expenditures, or will they just review what things were spent on the funeral?
Based on the interview that we conducted, GSIS actually does not interfere with any funeral expenses because the funeral benefit is simply a reimbursement. So, for example, for the coffin kind, GSIS has no say if you get the basic standard one or a more expensive design.
Thank you.
Yes, Miss. Cluster 5 po. Let's have the next question from Miss Locando.
Okay, good morning. A very informative presentation, Cluster 5 from Cluster 4. So, my question is why do the members of the Judiciary and Constitutional Commissions only have life insurance? Why don't they have retirement and other social security benefits just like the rest?
So GSIS classifies members of the Judiciary and Constitutional Commissions as one of their special members. They are not covered by the other benefits of GSIS besides life insurance because they are under a separate retirement scheme that is funded by the Supreme Court. This is acknowledged by the Department of Budget and Management.
Thank you.
Okay, for our next question, let's have Miss Dayanan.
Hi, Cluster 5. Great performance. Just have a question. Aside from those programs extended to its members, does the GSIS have any more activities outside the institution, that we should know about?
Thank you, Ms. Kim. So we've recently learned that the corporate social responsibility, or the CSR of the GSIS, is this program called Adopt a School program, wherein they choose a particular beneficiary school. So currently, their beneficiary is Gaas Elementary School, and they're in the midst of delivering ICT equipment like smart TVs and computers, which the total amount is around 400,000 pesos. So I think it will please you to know that aside from its members, GSIS is also beneficial to those outside of the institution.
Next, let's have Miss Fayod for the next question.
Hi, good morning, Cluster 5. Thank you for that very wonderful presentation. My question would be, how can a member know their outstanding balance, loan balance, rather?
So a member of GSIS can know their loan balance usually is through their SMS or messages, or they'll receive a letter for due and demandable collection from the GSIS. And also you can also check the balance through the GSIS Touch, which is the mobile application of GSIS themselves.
Okay, thank you so much.
I think there are no more questions, and that's all for our group. Thank you so much.
Thank you and goodbye.
Okay, thank you, Cluster 5, for a job well done and for sharing the valuable information to us. Thank you also for the non-reporting clusters. Thank you for joining in this session. Have a nice day. Bye.
Goodbye and thank you
Thank you
for
and
your
goodbye,
Bye po.
miss.
participation.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Cluster
Goodbye
5.
and